whacker plate this time, or compactor, whatever you want to call it. Another auction buy. It was more complete than this when I got it. It looks absolutely fine. It's got fuel in it. I turned the fuel on and it came out the bottom, because actually the bottom of the carburetor was missing. The float bowl was missing. That's that carb over there. That was missing its float bowl. So I swapped a cheap copy carb on, and I was doing that, and I thought, oh, I'll just spray some easy starting. And then I noticed when you put it over, it makes a terrible noise. Let's see if I can get it to make the noise now. Hear that clacky knocking noise? That just sounds horrific. So we're going to find out what that is, because I thought this was going to be a nice, get the engine running and flog it, put some new wheels on it. There, smashed. But I don't think it's going to be. Let's find out what that noise is. I'm going to take the starter cover off, and I'm going to take the belt cover off, which is just a few bolts, and we're just going to turn it over and see if that noise is coming from somewhere other than actually inside the engine. If it's coming from inside the engine, I think that's got more issues. So actually I stopped videoing because I thought actually this was going to be a really simple fix. Put some oil in. There was no oil in there. I put oil in, I started it up on petrol. It ran actually really nice. And I thought, oh, this won't be made into a video. This was an easy fix. And I saw this. I thought all this oil around here was someone just spilling some, or that hadn't been done up at some point. But it appears that the block is cracked. And oil is just pouring out of like a hole down here somewhere. I can't find it, but if you clear that off, oil pours out from there somewhere. So that engine is knackered. I can't sell that. So, time to try and fix it. I have slipped the belt off. I have taken the bolt out the centre of the clutch, and I don't know how that comes off. And then I've undone, so that bolt, that nut, sorry, there's one there. There's one in there, and there's one in there, and they're the rubber mounts that isolate this bit from the plate, and the whole engine on that plate there should lift off now with the frame and everything. Then I can get to the bolts underneath to unscrew the engine block, and it looks like it might come out through this gap, and I won't have to take the frame off. I've sucked the oil out of the engine, so obviously it's all just going to pour out. So next job is work out how the clutch comes off, because I can't remove the whole lot until I can get that off to get the plastic off, because it doesn't go over that pulley. So I kind of need to unbolt it there, take it off there, so I can just free it up and flop it out of the way. And so I think I'm going to need to put a puller on this. I don't want to be too vicious, because I could break it. So I might end up having to take the circlip off, take the outer off, and then pull the middle, but I'll give it a gentle pull first. We'll see what happens. Well, that was a surprise. I set the puller up on there, and all I did was tighten that by hand. I gave it a bit of a crank just with my hand, and it came off. That was nice. So that's a parallel shaft, I think. Not certain, but I think these come with a parallel or a tapered shaft. So let's go check the spare engine we've got. So we've got this piece of junk over here. This came out of the stores of a plant company. It was just sitting on a shelf like this, clearly been robbed of all its bits. Well, turns, doesn't sound terrible, maybe a bit stiff, I have to say, maybe a bit stiff. We'll see. The plan is to take all the bits off of that one and put them on this one, and hopefully this block, piston, etc. will be fine. Managed to free that off then. 2 bolts on the engine, 1 nut and bolt that held it to this frame. So that's now just flipped out the way, I don't need to take it off there. And hopefully, if I can do it with one hand, I'm not sure if I can, this should now lift off, because the holes on the bottom there are actually just cutouts, they're not a hole. So just freeing the nuts off, this should just lift off. Let's give it a go. Oh, it almost came off. What's it stuck on? Nothing, it's just heavy. Two-handed job, but that's it. Look, essentially, that'll lift off, that end will lift off. And I'll plonk this over here. So now I've got them side by side. I think first job is actually to try and spin that one over with a drill, spray a bit of easy start into that that's left, and see if it coughs and splutters, because it does feel odd when I turn it over. It feels quite stiff in general, so whether it's had a problem, that's why it's got abandoned like that, or not, I don't know. So let's see if I can get a drill to spin it over and just see what it does. Put an appropriate size socket in a drill to fit on there. Let's just see what it does. Okay. I won't bother looking for spark, I will just try it. Let's see. Ooh. Tried to do something, didn't it? Ah. Well, that kind of did something. Right, that'll do. I'm happy. It's going to do something. And it doesn't have the noises that one has, so, and not the broken block, hopefully. Let's get on and swap. Yeah. I'll probably fast forward this bit so you'll just be swapping stuff really quickly. Why does that stop working now? Really? Why? Better. Why did it rev up like that? Something's wrong with the throttle linkage, surely. Oh, I think the governor's broken in this engine. Oh, what a ball ache. Yeah, that engine's dead. You hear that clacking starting as it got hot? That's dead too. Okay, 2 dead GX160s. I need a GX160. Trying to put all these bits in a box and pack this one away for now. Well then, these two idiots. I've had a look at this one and I can't see any cracks or anything. It looks nice. I've cleaned it and I can't see anything wrong to see why oil would come out there. Sorry, look. And I've cleaned this up and this looks fine. What I did notice, I cleaned it off now, was that there was a lot of goo down here and down here. And I wonder if it was actually this that was leaking, but I just couldn't see that it was doing it. And it was running down. Also, I noticed that the gasket in here wasn't very well stuck here either. So maybe this bolt was loose. So I don't know. I'm just gonna put it back together. I've got, this was from one of my other videos. I used the other bits. I've got a case gasket, which I think is right. So we'll try that. Pop that on, probably with a bit of spray sealant as well, because I don't think it's greatest quality. We'll put it back together and we'll just see what it does, but I have got to take everything off that one and put it back on that one. Never mind. I have put the governor thing back and I've just lost it, so I'll sort that out. Okay, bye. Blue Hylamar spray, which I got from somewhere. Ugh. There we go. And then you leave it and it goes off a little bit. And I'll flip it over and do the other side and then we'll pop it on and it's just like a jointing sealant. This is really old. No idea what year this was made. I'm going to say it was some time ago. So something went wrong. I went to put the cover on as it slid down over the shaft, the oil seal caught. It popped the lip inside out and the spring came out. I don't have a new oil seal, but I do have the other half. So now I'm cleaning this one up so that it's lovely inside like this one. And then I'm going to fit this one. Bearing seems okay. Even though that engine's disintegrated, the bearing does seem okay. So we'll rebuild with that one now. So, I'm not entirely sure it was leaking at all. This goo keeps appearing, but it's the dirt and oil mixed together. The vibration of the engine's liquefying it, I think. I think it might just be old spilt oil now. Whether it was still leaking a little bit anyway. But that seems to be what's happening. Although I'm not going to be surprised if it leaks now, because this gasket turned out to be shite. But yeah, that was like dry dirt, and as it ran, that turned into liquid. So like quicksand. Doesn't seem to be leaking, like there's no actual oil coming out of it. Well, there you go. So it did work, and actually it looks like it wasn't leaking oil. It was the oil-soaked dirt just turning back to liquid, because look where I've run it. The bolts covered in wet oil, which wasn't wet originally. I think that's what it is. Yeah. So effectively, you've watched me not repair it, just take it apart and basically put it back together again. I haven't really done much to it. The engine's still got a little bit of a tick, I think. Well, I'll just sell it as it is. The engine maybe ticks a bit, but it works. And it's only going to be cheap, relatively speaking. So someone will buy it, not expecting a huge amount of life out of it. Yeah, that's my video on that thing. Oh well, thanks for watching. Don't forget, like, thumbs up, and subscribe. See you in the next one. Thanks for that.